we can use all this information produced by Earth observation in order to improve the knowledge that we can get around climate change. We will be able to provide useful information for the local communities to understand how the environment is changing and what kind of measures they will be able to provide in order to further adapt and mitigate its effects. We have 7 different demonstration sites around Europe, from the tip of the north of Norway in the Arctic down to Greece, taking advantage of the ability of remote sensing to constantly monitor the different regions in Europe. So we expect to be able to provide a big picture of how climate change is affecting all Europe altogether. In particular, we will take advantage of the data provided by the Sentinel constellation that is managed by the European Space Agency in the context of the Copernicus program. These are satellites that are covering multiple characteristics of the different phenomena that can occur on ground. So with these, we will be able to retrieve information that will cover all the different aspects of the life on our planet, and the human can interact with the environment itself. These data sets are extremely important also because they are fully open and fully accessible. Nowadays they are essentially the benchmark for any use in terms of environmental monitoring around the world. We will start from 7 demonstration sites, but the ambition will be to provide information around all the different regions of Europe. So to bring together all the information that we can get from the different biogeographical regions in the climate scenario of Europe, and then putting all this into a system so that we will be able to provide a thorough understanding of how climate change is affecting the whole continent at least. The novelty of our approach is to bring together not only the digital dimension of the studies of climate change, so not only bringing together sensors, observations, measurements that we can gather across the different demonstration sites and the different regions of Europe that we will take into account, but also we will bring together the human dimension. This means that we expect to have a higher degree of impact for our adaptation and mitigation measures, because we will have a constant feedback from the communities and the stakeholders, so that in this way we will be able to understand in practice what means climate change for the different regions in Europe, and how this can be addressed in a way that could be impactful. What happens in the Arctic affects also what happens around the world. If we can consider that the studies in the Arctic will be useful also to understand what will happen across the tropical areas, like in Singapore, with respect to what happens for sea level rise and the harmful algae blooms. The Arctic environment is summarizing a lot how climate change is affecting our lives. This is something that we will have to consider for our project, and that's the reason why the Arctic is a key component of the project itself. We will deal with 3 main components of climate change in our region. One is how the oceanographic variables will affect sea level rise, and how sea level rise will affect in turn the human activities in particular on the coast of the municipality of Tromsø. Another aspect of climate change that we will focus on is the development of early warning systems against the occurrence of landslides, snow avalanches and debris flow caused by the changes in the permafrost thawing and the snow cover that we had in our region. Finally, we will develop new measures with respect to marine spatial planning, addressing how climate change is affecting the fish productivity, the suitability for aquaculture sites, and the harmful algae blooms that are affecting the coast of our region.